Hello everybody and welcome back to the build. In this video we are going to cover applying the external heat and sound shield. Alright, so really what's the point of this video? So I basically purchased some heat and sound shielding, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I had a chance to weld up some extra holes on the side of the front compartment so you could see the areas where I sanded it down. But I'm going to powder coat the front compartment once I complete construction and finish the front nose hinge fabrication. But anyway, I had this all apart, so I figured let me fit the sound shielding. And you can see it in there. It's this really nice black matte finish, and it sits on a fiberglass base. And it's really, it's a company called Design Engineering, and this is their heaviest duty heat reflection product. And it also serves as a sound dampener, so here's a sense for how it works. I mean, this is my fingertip, and so it's pretty good. Then I'm going to coat the top and bottom of the passenger compartment with the butyl rubber sound dampener, so that should do a good job. But anyway, the point of this video really is to show some of the techniques to make patterns and cut out blind holes or drill accurately blind holes, as well as round holes in this material. It wasn't that straightforward. And you know, the point of a lot of my videos is really to cater to people that are building these cars or building a kit car for the first time. Okay, so stay tuned and we'll talk about the process. All right, so this is the general approach, and you know, it's been well established that I like to mock things up before I fabricate or cut any type of material, and this is no different. I mean, this heat shielding is not inexpensive. It's about $75 for a 24 by 48 inch piece. So I'll use four boxes or 4 sheets for the entire exterior of the car. But anyway, this is sort of the approach to make a pattern, and this is for the front foot box, which I'll show in a minute. But I try to use just full pieces. So I use a full piece of construction paper here and just fold up, or just cut a small piece and find the upper edge, take another full piece, fold it over, take another full piece and fold it over. And once I have the sections, I just sort of mask it all together. So I don't have to cut this edge, this edge, this edge, that edge. It all sort of gets butted up against the actual part on the car. And it really came out really well. I mean, it's sort of black on black, but you can see you can see the finished product here. So that's the front, the top folds over, and the sides fold in. And then I did the same thing for that top piece. I made a pattern. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to make some patterns for the side of the car. We'll make a pattern down there, pattern for this section, and pattern for the entire sides. And I'll show the process, and then we'll cut out some blind holes and some larger holes, and then we'll call it a wrap. Okay, we got this section done without a lot of drama. Just a lot of pieces just taped together, not much cutting. I think the only cutting I had to do was right up there. I had to cut a little angle. I may wind up extending this piece so it goes there, but I'm not sure. And anyway, we're going to do the bottom here. That way I can show you. We're going to cut out some holes. We've got this fitting there. We're going to have to cut that out. So I'll show you how I cut this material. All right, stay tuned. All right, well, we've got the back part of the passenger compartment, and then we got the side of the foot box done. I shouldn't use the black paper. It doesn't photograph very well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these patterns over to the material. I'll cut them out, and then I could use these patterns and probably have to tweak them for the other side. All right, we're going to move around a little bit. This is the piece that's cut out for the rear bulkhead, and this is a little more interesting, so I'm going to show this piece. Let's see, so let's cover the tools of the trade here. So, you know, this material is 3/16 inches thick. You know, it's aluminum on one side and then this dense fiberglass base on the other side. It's got acrylic adhesive, and then it's got a peel off coating. Now I'm not going to make this permanent until towards the end of the build, but I just want to get all this stuff cut out now. So let's see, a couple things. The first thing I did was cut this area out. I simply use these big shears. So these are some monster shears, heavy duty. They cut through this really, really well. And then I marked some small M6 holes. So these holes came from the panel itself. So I like to use this scribe and just push it through from the back. And then these are 3/8 inch holes, and I just, you know, mark the center, and then I'll also, you know, punch a hole from the back. And then once I punch those holes, then from the front I use a step drill. So this is a nice step drill because it's really deep, so each step will go all the way through all the layers of the material. All right, so I'm going to do these holes, then we'll take a look. All right, well that works out good. You can see these are cut out nice and clean, even from the front. You know, it's really thick material. If you use a regular drill, it tends to grab on all these fibers and start pulling it out. But the step drill bit just really does it nice and clean. You know, you may have to pull a little bit off the bit, a little bit of the fiberglass off the bit, but looks good. Now we're going to mount this up and take a look. Okay, well, we're making some good progress here. I'll point out a couple things. Let's see, I've got the holes located for the header tank. Also have the indentation cut out and lined to make room for the throttle body reversing elbow. And also I completed the rear fuel tank closeout panel. Okay, well, this worked out pretty convenient. The length of the sheets is 48 inches, and that's the exact length of the side pod here on the chassis. So it lines up nice with the edges, and then I'll just hold it up to the chassis and just draw with Sharpie right around the edge there and cut it out. Okay, well, this came out really good. I'm really happy with this. Basically what I did was I attached with the screws to make sure the material laid flat, even without the adhesive taken off, well, the backing taken off yet. But anyway, the way I was able to do it, and this is another tool of the trade, so I'm going to show you this. So this is an M6 set screw, and then I just ground down to make it really pointy, and I put a couple of those in at a time, and then with my hand just pressed the material up against it, and you could actually hear the tip puncture the plastic backing. And then I took a little piece of wood and a mallet and just tapped it lightly. You know, I don't want to hit it too hard and strip the threads. And it basically worked its way through to the front of the material, and you could see a nice dimple. And then I used the scribe and then the step drill to drill those out. But anyway, they came out really, really good. Nice clean look. And I'm doing the patterns now. I want to finish up the back, and then we'll put the front panels on and we'll call it a wrap. All right, well, we're all done with applying the heat shield. Once again, this is just temporary, but it's actually held on quite well. But anyway, we'll take a closer look at some of the workmanship. I'm very proud of this. You can see the cooling tube standoff. You got the clutch bulkhead. You've got some brake clips there, and you see all the brake clips going down the driver's side. And then you have all the holes, the blind holes that I located for the interior tub closeout panel. And then also I have a gasket, or not a gasket, a grommet for the rear wiring harness. I will take a look at the other side now. Okay, well, it's nice to see it all done. This was quite a bit of work, actually. You know, part-time. Probably took me a good week and a half, 2 weeks. But anyway, we'll point out a couple things. We went through the rear bulkhead, finished up the top frame rail, did the fuel tank closeout panel, the side frame rail, and also the bottom frame rail. I've got the oil sump tank back there, and that throws off a lot of heat, so wanted to put the heat shielding back there. You can see the engine harness grommet there. Once again, we've got the blind screws. They came out great. You've got the weather stripping now. I adjusted the height of the heat shielding to accommodate for that. We've got the AC and heater hose bulkheads there. I used hole saws to cut those out, and then we had the cooling tube standoffs. And then this sort of just wraps around to the front of the foot box. So all in all, I mean, really happy with this. All right, so this was a nice break from the exhaust. The next video should be the third exhaust video, and we should have that just about completed. All right, well, as always, thanks for watching, and take care.